Hey YouTube, so I've decided to start adding audio commentary to my tank videos. It seems like everyone else is doing it nowadays on YouTube, so I figure I also do it. Anyway, this is my new 10-gallon planted tank that I just set up a couple days ago. I decided to try another planted tank because I haven't done them in a while, and I wanted to do a much more elaborate layout with carpeting plants and such. Anyway, this tank is basically an open top, which I really like. I've been looking at a lot of showcase tanks, and it seems like all the really nice tanks are open top aquariums, so I decided to follow suit with that. So the specs on this tank the lighting system is basically a T5, two 8-watt bulbs, so that's 16 watts. So that's a 1.6 watt per gallon, which is not high intensity lighting, but rather probably medium lighting. It should be good enough for the plants that I bought in this tank. So this is my first time going into carpeting plants, and I read somewhere that Dwarf Hairgrass was one of the easier carpeting plants to grow, so I figured I'd start out with that. So I bought a couple pots, and then I separated the little hair grasses into small clumps, and basically planted them about an inch apart as per another YouTube video instructional. Another YouTube video showed me how to do it that way. So you see the rocks in this tank. I basically found all of those rocks on a hiking trail. I'm really totally against buying rocks. I don't know why anyone buys them. I think it's just something like completely free out there. Just go out and get it. Anyway, that's my preference. Other plants in this tank are Moneywort, which I've never tried before. It's a really nice plant, so it took me forever to plant these. The stems are so thin, like it literally took me probably a couple of hours to plant these little individual stems here, which I spaced pretty far apart. In the back is Jungle Val. I bought like 4 pots of those. It's a really nice plant, and it's not very intensive from what I've heard. So I'm going to try that. And Crypts, which I've planted before, have experience with, which is not very light intensive, which is actually, I put some in the background. Normally it's a middle ground plant, but I figure I'd try some a little in the back there just because there's some space. It was a real pain to plant these as well because it was just, I don't know, there's something wrong with the roots or something. It just took a really long time to get them to stay in the substrate. The substrate I'm using is 88 Amazonia soil, which I took from another tank. It's actually really good soil. I've always had good experience with it. It's always helped me grow plants quite well. In my previous tanks I never used CO2. So this time, because of the carpeting plants, I am foraying into CO2, and instead of buying those expensive pressurized systems or doing a DIY system, I just decided to buy this CO2 booster from API. I read that it's pretty good and that it does actually work, so this bottle is not very expensive at all, and it'll probably last me like 9 months just for this 10-gallon tank. So it was, it's my first time trying CO2, and I just hope it works. Anyway, know in 2 or 3 weeks how it turns out. Yeah, so a tank never looks good when you just set it up, so it takes a while for the plants to grow in. So I'll probably make another update video in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, to show everyone the progress. If anyone has any comments or recommendations for me, please leave them in the comment section, and I will definitely reply back. Okay? So I'll post another update in a couple of weeks. Thank you.